Neymar, Jr., grew up loving the game of soccer in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Neymar's father was a pro soccer player and would later go on to advise his son as his career progressed. An avid lover of futsal and street soccer, the way the game is played in the streets of Brazil influenced Neymar heavily as he was on the cusp of turning pro. Neymar played as a boy for São Vicente, a youth soccer team in his neighborhood. For many who didn't know, Junior would have died at almost a year old. Truth be told, the football world wouldn't have known he once existed. At the tender age of 4 months, Neymar miraculously survived a fatal car crash. The cause of the accident was an oncoming vehicle that recklessly ran off a steep mountain. The notorious driver lost control of his wheel. The vehicle got diverted towards Neymar's family's car and bashed them heavily in what was termed a terrible accident. The sad event happened while Mr Santos and Nadine were on their way to visit some relatives. The accident happened on a rainy day, and Neymar's dad never knew a car was coming speedily towards his family. As an experienced driver, he tried to swerve to the left, but was already too late. Neymar was badly hurt as a blood covered his whole body. Thankfully, there was no breakage of his bones. However, his dad's left leg got a terrible blow as it dislocated his hip bone. In that instant, Neymar Sr. thought he was going to die. The Brazilian footballer developed a technique that mixed quick speed, dribbling and shooting, playing in the streets and with youth club Portuguesa Santista, which would eventually catch the attention of the Brazilian club Santos. In 2003, Neymar began playing for the Santos youth ranks and was immediately touted as the next big thing. Santos would give Neymar a contract that paid him $2,000 a month at 15 before even becoming a pro, and by 16, Santos wanted to make sure they had the young prospect signed on for the long term. They gave him unprecedented $23,000 a month contract before going pro. At 17, Neymar was promoted to the first team and would go on to make his professional debut with Santos on March 7, 2009. It would officially start the career of one of Brazilian soccer's biggest prospects of the last 20 years. Neymar would take Santos back to heights it had not seen since the days of Pelé and Robinho. In his first season for Santos, Neymar would score 14 goals in 48 games across all competitions. Fans and media were mesmerized by the skill and flash of the lanky winger. Only 1 year after making his debut, Neymar would triple his output and begin to win championships. In his first year as a pro, Neymar would play for the Brazil U17 squad and would go on to represent Brazil in the U17 World Cup. At Santos, Neymar would begin to fine-tune his craft, all while helping Santos back to the top of Brazilian soccer. In 5 seasons from 2009 to 2013, Neymar would score an impressive 136 goals in 225 games for Santos. Not only that, but Neymar was instrumental in winning the 2011 Copa Libertadores for the club, defeating Uruguay in the final. During this period, Neymar was capped by Brazil for the first time in 2010 in a 2-0 friendly match victory against the United States on August 10, 2010. He'd cemented himself as one of the greatest players in Santos history and the best of the current generation. It was truly a miracle that Neymar lasted as long as he did in Brazil. Brazilian soccer was going through an economic boom in the lead up to the 2014 World Cup in the country, and Neymar was paid handsomely during his time there. Still, Europe came calling, and it was FC Barcelona and Lionel Messi that would be the next chapter of Neymar's career, and the Spanish giants went on to pay 64 million for his services. Neymar arrived to the team loaded with talent, and that took pressure off of the young Brazilian, being one of the boys on Lionel Messi's team. Neymar would prove to be pivotal as he formed the MCN connection with Messi and Luis Suarez. The South American trio took La Liga by storm and Barcelona defeated everyone. Many games were 4-0 by halftime on various occasions. The Champions League triumph was against Juventus, and the Club World Cup was a sound victory over River Plate of Argentina, giving Barcelona their third Club World Cup. It was with Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez, Andres Iniesta, and of course Neymar that the world saw some of the best soccer ever played by any team in history. In only 4 seasons, and being at the times the third or fourth most important player on that Barcelona team, Neymar scored an impressive 105 goals in 186 games for Barca. His time was seen as a resounding success. At PSG, Neymar wanted to step out of Lionel Messi's shadow and be the central figure of a team on his own. PSG would be the team, and French club paid 200 million euros to sign the Brazilian. In 2017, Neymar arrived in Paris, and while the team was made for him to be its star, he did clash with Edison Cavani. Cavani was PSG's unquestionable best player, and the two had issues on the field at the times. While Neymar has played well at PSG, injuries and the Champions League have put a dent on what would have been a stellar career in France. In his second season, Neymar would only play 17 league games, and the following season just 15. Nonetheless, Neymar has cracked the 100-goal mark for PSG across all competitions in 144 games. Neymar has been smart to get his brand out there, most notably on the big screen playing himself in XXX Return of Xander Cage, sharing a scene with none other than Samuel L. Jackson. Later he appeared in the international hit show Money Heist, La Casa de Papel, but this time playing a monk named Joao. Also, Neymar more than held his own kicking a soccer ball with late-night host Jimmy Kimmel. Neymar is also an avid poker player and is one of the highest paid athletes in the world. Neymar has earned well over $200 million in his career through salary, film appearances, and endorsements. Neymar is interested in gaming and recently signed a gaming deal with the Facebook for future projects. As for his personal life, Neymar has a son named David Luca, who was born in 2011 from his relationship with Carolina Danta. Neymar is very close to his sister Rafaela Becron and even sports a tattoo of her face on his arm. Neymar is a devout Christian and works with various charities to help feed poor children.